Why, hello there. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And if not, I hope this video makes your day extra special. I'm having the most seasonal cold possible. So I'm trying to cheer myself up by getting myself back into the groove of recording visual novels. Yes. And today we have a special one called Encounter. As far as I know, you meet up with your friend. I downloaded this like 4 days ago and I just never played it. So if you're ready for this adventure with me, buckle in, get comfortable, get nice and comfortable and stuff. Like I really hope you guys are having an awesome day. And let's get started. What's your name, old friend? It is Voyia. It always feels weird because like my microphone hides my keyboard from me, so I type slower. And I really type kind of fast. I don't type like super fast. I'm not one of those speed typing people, but sometimes like when I'm doing these, I'll type my name very, very slow. And all I can think in my head is like, wow, you type that extremely slow. And yes, I watch all of my recordings. Don't even act like I don't. But I'd be like, dang, I type slow. You despise your job. You always have. The moment you stepped foot into that building, you knew you hated it. The rows of cubicles, the background keyboards tapping and photocopying, and the endless amount of caffeine needed to keep yourself awake is too much. You were, excuse me, choked on my own spit. You were thinking you could have become a scientist or a doctor, but no. Here you are, sitting at a desk all day, getting home, watching TV, going to bed, and waking up to do the same thing all over again. I don't know. This is kind of my job. I don't get paid much, but it's kind of like volunteer work because I volunteer my time to YouTube until, I can make it into a career. And I enjoy making people happy. So I guess that saying is true. It's like, do what makes you happy and I guess the money will come at some point. Today was a particularly daunting day. Your coworker and cubicle neighbor was taking a sick day to visit his aunt in the hospital. Heard she got a nasty car in a nasty car accident, and he needed to see her as soon as possible. Of course, you offered to do his work for the day he was absent, which was today. Sounds like you're just having a rough day, boy. I'm sorry. He had done you a couple of favors in the past, and you weren't planning on letting him down in such a stressful manner. Yeah. Help your friends out. Help your neighbor in need, buddy. Just, as long as they're not psycho killers or murderers or something like that. Just, stuff like that. Just make sure you can read people before you help people. And as happy as it made you feel to have done your good deed of the day, staying hours after your usual shift was over didn't leave you with an accomplished feeling you usually get from helping someone in need. Now you're finally home and you're hungry. I feel terrible. I'm starving. And at this point, anything's fine to eat. I don't have the energy to make a nice meal right now. What to do about a nice meal? You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I was studying to be an RN, I promise y'all, noodles were clutch. Noodles, a bowl of rice with an egg, like eggs and rice and stuff. Clutch. I swear I used to eat that stuff faithfully because it's just like when you get off of work after studying or anything, you're just staring at the kitchen. You're like, I just rather order food out. But then you want to eat healthy. Like for me, at least, I'm not talking about everybody because there's some people like, I don't care. Get me a Big Mac, a huge fry, 16 nuggets. Let's go. Like we about to munch down on some nuggies and a lot of barbecue sauce and honey mustard. Let's go. Me personally, I want to eat healthier. So when I used to come home and there was nothing to eat, it would kill me that I was like, oh, I don't want food out. I just want healthy food. Where can I find healthy food? So for me, rice and eggs, closest thing to healthy. Noodles was next. That was the best thing I could do. You look through your pantry, realizing that you, in fact, have no food. You contemplate ordering some food, but it would probably be cheaper heading to the store yourself. You feel a headache coming along. Just another metaphorical tomato thrown in your face, you suppose. You grab your keys and your wallet before heading out of your apartment. Luckily, the nearest store is only 5-minute walk away. That's a good thing. Maybe the air will do you some good. And walking we go. You don't really used to come to the store as much as, excuse me, I'm coughing. I'm trying not to cough in you guys' ear. As it is much smaller than your average supermarket. It's much closer though. And the air was nice. Walking did you some good. See? Little healthy interaction. I go for like a 30-minute walk, maybe like a 30-minute bike ride. Call it a day. You decide to go and just do your usual shopping rather than buying just a quick meal. You'll be there anyways. You walk into the store, only now realizing how late it is. There is one person working at the cash register and only 4 other customers. Oh yeah, you came to the store late. One is already making their way to the exit. There are about 20 minutes until closing time. I should be done by then anyways. You walk into the first aisle, scanning the shelves of the different products, varying from pasta to cans of food. You aren't quite sure what you'll be getting, but this is a good aisle to start in. Telling you. Oh, and pasta noodles with salsa. Listen, don't judge me, okay? It was a struggle meal for me. Not even because I didn't have money, because I was in a program that was training you. It trains you in multiple fields to get you ready to be an RN. My main focus of studies was RN nursing, or RN, if you know, registered nurse, basically. But I started studying in CNA, CMA, and CRA, I think it's called. Basically just working my way up. And what the program was is that you work your way up from, CNA up, and then you start training, you slowly start training as an RN basically. But it was pretty cool. It was awesome, but it was just too tiring. I know I said but a bunch of times because there's stuff that's happened after it, but it's just a bunch of stuff that happened where I just couldn't do it anymore. Anyways, I'm sorry for that long rant. From the corner of your eye, you see a man wearing a uniform, really, that the other employees at the cash register was wearing. A pink apron with a white shirt, as well as a red name tag. No, look at him. He just looks tired. Poor thing. Jeremy. The poor guy looks half asleep and familiar. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you've seen this man before, somewhere. You continue to stare at the man, that nagging feeling in your gut telling you that you know who this is. And that's when it hits you. Voyia, is that you? Jeremy? Jeremy quickly makes his way to you. He just, look he lit up. Oh, that is so sweet. I'm so happy. Like I said, if I can make one person happy, I've done my I've done my good duty for today. I can't believe it. I haven't seen you since some time in high school. You can't believe it either. Your childhood best friend who moved away when you both were 16 suddenly appeared in the local grocery store. How have you been, Voyia? I've been good as I can be. How about you? Well, stocking shelves is pretty relaxing. And the store is never too busy, so I'd say I've been doing pretty good myself. This feels surreal. Your life has been so different since you last even spoke with him that you haven't even recognized him for a moment. It almost made you feel a little guilty, but who could blame you? People change over the years. His hair used to be shorter, but still unkept, as you know. Aw. I don't call that. I hate like people be like, oh yeah, my hair is just so unkept. It's just all over the place. Meanwhile, you just got silky curly hair. Relax. Your hair's not unkept. It was funny to see that as a constant for him, despite how many years it's been. Suddenly, Jeremy holds out his arm, inviting you to a hug, just like old times. Hug your best friend. You enthusiastically jump in his arms, feeling a rush of nostalgia. You didn't realize how much you missed your best friend until just now. Your extensive enthusiasm caught him off guard. Laughter escaped from him. We haven't hugged in years. I almost forgot what it was like. Jeremy lets you go. Where have you been? And when did you get back? I moved to town, excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry, my allergies are just really acting up today. It's like, it feels like it's caught in my nose and my throat and everything. So it's like, sometimes I just feel the need to cough or like, I don't know. It's just like phlegm. Okay. That's the best way I can explain it. For people who don't have sinus, it's like phlegm and mucus in your nose. It's just all mixing together and it feels like it's in the back of your throat. Sorry for the description. I moved to the town next door with my mom to go live with her boyfriend at the time. I'm sorry. I completely lost your number and I was so busy after I moved. Plus, we slowly stopped talking right before I was expelled. Oh. Jimmy started fiddling with his apron. I guess I'm getting at is that I was just too shy to reach out to you again after we moved. Oh, poor thing. Listen, if you're my friend and we haven't talked in years, act like we just talked yesterday, okay? It's not a big deal. I promise you it's not. I moved back a few weeks ago. There was an apartment nearby looking for a roommate, so what made you move back? Jeremy goes quiet for a moment. Just family drama. That's all. You recognize his face. Excuse me. As it was one he often used back when we were kids. There was always something going on, but he never elaborated on it more than that. He never let you come over either. Whenever you asked to hang out, he'd always choose the park or your own house. Now that you think of it, you've never seen the inside of Jeremy's childhood home, nor did you ever see his mother. You knew his father, I didn't mean to hit that, sorry. You knew his father wasn't around, so it always had to do with his mother. You noticed Jeremy obviously discomforted of the situation. Maybe it would be better if we switched the subject. So, what high school did you transfer to after you got expelled? Oh, I actually dropped out after I moved. It was more convenient, you know? Now this took you by surprise. You always knew Jeremy as a hardworking and goal-driven individual. He was always the first person you paired up with at school for projects because you knew you could always count on him. Even as little kids, he always was determined to win any game and any competition you both would make. You would win most of them and you would win most of the time, I messed that up. As he was never been an athletic kind. But even so, he was determined to be number one. Plus, he never took a loss to heart, which was equally most 8-year-olds didn't have at the time, quality. I messed that up. Which was a quality most 8-year-olds didn't have at the time. So, he had to mature early. That's what it seems like, and it sounds like it's his mom that made him mature very much so early, which sucks. It really does suck. I hate that gets put on kids. We gotta mature early because they put on me. I had to mature early because, family stuff. Family drama, just like Jeremy said. Either way, it was most unbelievable that he had given up on graduating. You could almost recall word for word the plans he had about high school. He couldn't wait to get on with his life and do some great things. But now that you recall it, Jeremy started acting a little less determined the closer and closer he got to the point of him being expelled. You know, my mom and I were always a little tight on money. I kind of took it upon myself to help her. Her boyfriend wasn't the richest guy around either, so I just had to do what I had to do. Jeremy lets out a laugh. He wasn't the most pleasant guy either, so it was better being at work than at home with him. He seemed to be fine with the past and current situation, but you can't help but feel a little bit bad for him. Jeremy stopped laughing when he reached your face. Hey, don't worry about me. Alright? Oh, he's trying to be so happy. Why do I not hear the music anymore? For me, the music is like very, very low. Let me see if I can turn it up just a little bit. It's not like the music matters, but I did turn the music down a little bit. But I wasn't hearing the music at all. It just like kind of faded out for me. So I'm hoping that meant that maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was still loud for y'all and it just faded for me. You don't need to worry about me, alright? You seem to be having a very bad luck. Excuse me. Oh God, my voice faded out with the music. You seem to be having very bad luck at conversational topics today. The conversation had gone quiet and it feels like you queued to head to the next aisle. I'll be heading to the next aisle now. I know you've got your job to do. It's nice talking to you, you know? Jeremy nods, straightening his apron. Of course. Enjoy your shopping. Let me know if you need anything. And that was that. You moved to the next aisle, leaving Jeremy behind. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, did you see the face he made? Oh, I don't think I could have left. I'd have been like, I could sit here with you for a while if you want. Oh, man. Listen, I didn't say it before, but I'm going to go to the thing real quick and read off to you what I read for the warning. So you guys know. Trigger warning, kidnapping, stalking, drawing of a knife, you know, the normal horror things. Those are the trigger warnings, you guys. The fact that stalking and kidnapping is in here, I know I'm getting caught. You begin looking at the lines and lines of food, but your mind is somewhere else. Who would blame you? You just bumped into someone you thought you'd never see again. You find yourself thinking back to the time you had both first met. It was at a park nearby, a minute walk from your house, or 30 seconds for you since you were always too eager to get there. It was a nice park, a board of squeaky swings. Oh my God. Excuse me. Squeaky swings and colorful slides. The wood chips would always get stuck in your shoes, and the sand from the sandbox would always be overflowing from the kids throwing handfuls of it overboard. I heard that sand, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I never looked into it. I don't think I've ever had one, knock on wood, and I pray that I don't get one. But I think they're called wingworms. And they're like these little patch of bumps that you get on your skin. I heard that sandboxes causes that. So, or dirt causes it. Somebody let me know like what that is and if I'm saying it right and if it's caused by sand and dirt. The older kids would have always been on the monkey bars, so you'd have been settled for the slides. So you'd have to settle for the slides and the swings most of the time. That's when you met Jeremy for the first time. It was a week before first grade, and after much pleading, your parents brought you to the park. You were having so much fun, and you decided that paying attention to your surroundings wasn't a priority anymore. You actually ended up crashing into Jeremy, sending you both tumbling to the floor. It completely knocked the wind out of you both. You, for one, thought the interaction was hilarious. So hilarious that you were too distracted laughing to notice that you made a poor kid cry. Not because you hurt him, more because he just was really spooked. Oh, poor Jeremy. I feel so bad for him. Only once their fit of laughter was finished, you did notice the crying child next to you. Of course, you apologized, but he wasn't much taller. Excuse me, much of a talker. I cannot read today, y'all. Brain no work. When brain no work, brain no work. He wasn't much of a talker. Well, he never was anyways. Not unless he got to know you good enough. At first, he ran away from the park out of what you could only imagine was embarrassment. Aww. Poor thing. Where was his parents? Where was his mom at? Not his parents, but where was his mom at? But when school started and you both found each other in the same class, he stuck to you like a magnet. Nobody tried to speak to him and nobody tried to speak to you, so things just worked out perfectly. Of course, things changed once high school started. You feel like you're being watched. You look over your shoulder and you see a very suspicious looking grocery store worker. Once you noticed his gaze, he, in a very non-casual manner, walks away. Is this the stalking that they were talking about? I hope not. You continue looking at the shelves, deciding to ignore his random appearance. He could have just been doing his job because he works here. No need to overthink it. You pick up a can, contemplating putting it in your basket. You still don't know. Excuse me, I had to burp. You still don't know what you want to eat, despite being in the store for a handful of minutes surrounded by food. You feel as if you're being watched again. You look over your shoulder a second time to find some suspicious grocery worker staring at you again, rushing to the next aisle once he is spotted for a second time. You look as if he had something to say, but left before he could manage to get a single word out. Now you're feeling a little on edge. You put your can, you put the can you were holding back onto the shelves, picking up another one beside it. This time, Jeremy walks into the aisles, still leaving a good distance between you two. You stand still like a statue, not daring to move an inch, nor making a single sound. This is something I would do. I would just be like, I know he's following me, but I don't want to say anything. Like, I don't know whether to like, hey, he's following me because we're friends. He could just be like, oh, I know her. That's Voyia. We know her. Like, it's, women have it so hard when they go to the store is you don't know, like, you get put in situations like this and you don't know what to do. You can make a big fuss about it. You could yell at him, but what if he has, something to harm you? It's just so hard. I hope I read that since I skipped it. Okay, yeah, I read that. He doesn't seem like he's going to speak anytime soon. Do you want some company? Since you guys are friends, I feel like asking him, does he want company, isn't a bad thing. But I don't know. I want to get all the endings. There's 4 endings, by the way. So fingers crossed that this is just like, part of an ending. Asking, do you want some company? He seems surprised by your question. Me? Oh, yeah. Look how cute he is when he's blushing. That is too cute. I don't know who drew him, but you did an amazing job. He's adorable. Jenny takes this as an okay to come to the talking distance with you instead of standing awkwardly on the other end, of the aisle. There's just not that many people in the store and it gets a bit boring, Does it now? You said before that you found it relaxing. Well, it's relaxing, but it's lonely. People don't usually ask for help. They just do their own thing and I do mine, which is just stocking shelves pretty much. I go in the store, even when I can't find something, I would search the aisle 6 times before I ask somebody. So I get it. And when I worked at a grocery store, I prayed that people didn't ask me because I worked there for a very long time and I still can't tell you which aisle stuff was on. I'd be like, give me a second. I'm going to go look that up for you real quick. I'll be right back. Or you could follow me. I'd tell them, like, either you could follow me or you can just wait right here. I'll be right back. And I don't think my co-workers like me that much, so I'm really rarely talking to people around here. Jeremy looks a bit sad at excuse me, as he mentioned that passing comment, but it isn't anything new. People have always disliked him for reasons you just can't figure out. Growing up, he was just like any other kid to you, but no matter what he did, he was always being picked on. Oh, so he was bullied real bad. Poor thing. You just chalk it up to him being quiet and awkward. He always had a hard time holding a conversation with someone unless it was you. I remember hearing one of them call me creepy the other day. Creepy? That was something new. If you did to them what you did to me after not seeing me for years, I could understand why they would call you creepy. You don't ever remember Jeremy acting creepy ever. He's always a very respectful individual, and he'd never mean to be bothersome to anyone. If anything, whoever said that comment was being extremely harsh. That's odd. I don't remember thinking you were creepy. Just too shy for your own good. Now that's my problem too. I'm super duper shy, so I come off as awkward to everybody. I'm looking for my phone because I just heard it like pa-ping and I can't find it. Maybe it's a good reason I can't find it. I always come off as awkward to people because I'm shy. So I'll sit quietly and they're just like, why is she sitting quietly over there? That's kind of weird. But my thing is, I grew up being bullied and picked on as well. So my thing is, I need to analyze people before I approach people, because I would approach people like, hey, you want to be friends? And then I get picked on and bullied. So I have to analyze who associates with who, because then I know how our interaction is going to go. So as an adult now, it grew up with me to analyze people and be like, can I talk to this person? What are they doing? Are they fidgety? Are they, do they mean me harm? What is it? And especially nowadays, you have to analyze people and from head to toe to figure out what they want, because I've had times where random people come up and talk to me. I don't know what it is about my face, but random people will come up and talk to me and I'll just have a conversation with them, but in my head I'm like, I kind of want to walk away, unless it's like some kind of YouTube fan thing, then I'm okay with that, which that's never happened. But like, unless it's a YouTube fan thing, I don't know you and you don't know me, so it's weird. It's different if it's like a YouTube fan, because you know me. I put myself out there on the internet for you to know me, but I don't know you, but I want to get to know you because you know me. Like that's how I feel. But if you don't know me, you don't know what I do, and you just come up and be like, oh man, today was just a hard day, wasn't it? I had a lady do that to me. She walked up to me, she was like, oh my God, today was so hard. But okay. That's all I could say. It's like, you want to talk about it? And she just went on and on and on. But I don't get the creepy, but I think it's because I'm not a guy. If I was a guy and I did the things I did, I feel like I would come off as creepy too. But I'm more, they just like, oh, she's just weird. I just get the, you're weird or you're awkward. That's odd. Oh, I think I already read this before. I don't remember thinking you were creepy. Just too shy for your own good. Yeah. Really? Because I've been overthinking everything I do since then. It gets very tiring. Either way, I'm glad to have someone to talk to right now. Of course he is. He never asked for much ever. He's always oddly satisfied with whatever was given to him. Aww, that's how I am. Why am I relating to Jeremy? I feel bad. Look, if he's a stalker, I'm not a stalker. That's too much energy for me. I'm good. He never once asked for more. And completely off topic, it dawns on you that you haven't had any more frozen meals in your freezer back at the apartment. Although they weren't the fanciest things out there. You gotta admit, they're pretty convenient and not half bad once you know a good ones from the bad. Off topic, but do you have any good frozen food recommendations? I'm tired of buying the same ones. Frozen meals? Sure. I can name a few pretty good ones, in my opinion at least. By the way, ignore I'm losing my voice, alright? I'm trying to do my guy voice, but I'm losing my voice. Jeremy goes on a list of a few off-topic... excuse me, I messed that up. Goes on to list off a few off the top of his head, counting each one on his fingers. Then he laughs. It all is... so sorry. It's all I eat, honestly. So... I got a lot of them memorized. It's all you eat? That sounds a little tiring, no? Jeremy shrugs at your question. It's better than anything I can cook anyways. Well, what about that time you brought those homemade cookies to school? Those were better than any restaurant cookie I ever had. Your statements seemed to amuse Jeremy, a smile coming back to his face. Hopefully they weren't store-bought and he was like, oh yeah, they were homemade. Baking and cooking are two different arts, Voyia. You turn back to Jeremy for a moment to ask him for directions to a certain aisle when your eyes lock onto something you don't remember him having. Your gaze is set on a scar going across his neck. It looked well healed, meaning it wasn't very recent. Then you remember the rumor accumulating from high school about the fight that happened. The one that got Jeremy expelled along with the other boys who participated in it. Everyone already knew about how one of the kids had brought a knife to the fight, but word had it is that the guy who owned the knife actually used it to attack Jeremy sometime after the fight started. You always told yourself it wasn't true because you don't know what you would have done if it was. You were never able to see it for yourself if the rumors were correct because you never saw him again. But the proof was undoubtedly in front of you. It looked like... I didn't even see the scar. I had to look up for a second. I was like, is there a scar there for real? It looked like someone had dragged a knife along his throat. Not deep enough to actually cause a very life-threatening danger, but enough to leave a mark for years to come. Jeremy noticed where your eyes landed. Anyone ever tell you it's rude to stare? I feel bad because I have a scar and it's very noticeable. And it's one on my neck and it's one on my shoulder and it's on my thighs and it's a little bit across my chest. I am a burn victim. I'm a victim of a lot of stuff, but burn victim, yes. And it's a burn on my shoulder. And I might show y'all pictures, maybe, and stuff. It doesn't bother me. I don't mind people touching it. I have no feeling in my shoulder. I have feeling in my neck, but I don't have feeling in my shoulder. So when you touch it, I can't really feel it. I feel pressure. I don't feel like, the sensation of being touched. And people always ask me, does it hurt? Did it hurt? What happened? And stuff. Or people just stare at it. And I hate that people be staring at my scar and not just ask me what happened. I don't mind telling you the story. It just a bad kid. Not a bad kid. Yeah, a bad kid. I'll say a bad kid. A bad kid playing in the kitchen when they wasn't supposed to play in the kitchen. And our oven door came off and yanked me down. I tried to catch myself, and at the time people were frying french fries, so I got hit with all that grease that was in the pot that was frying the french fries, and it hit me. I got 58% of my body burned. My face was burned, my neck was burned, my shoulder was burned, my chest was burned, my legs were burned, my hands, arms, feet were burned, my back was burned. Everything got touched by grease, basically. Half my eyebrow was missing. Ears got burned. Anything you could think of that probably got hit by grease, it probably got hit by grease. Also, I was missing some part of my hair, like where my sideburn is. But a lot of that's healed. It's gone. It was a rough year because of people having to take pictures because my mom was trying to pursue a lawsuit because of the oven being jacked up or whatever. And then I just gave up. I turned 18. My mom told me I need to keep pursuing this because she can't help me pursue it anymore. It was being naked and having pictures taken of you over and over again over some stupid burns that wasn't your fault sucks. So I just gave up. I was like, nah, I'm just good. I'm good. I'm great. The burns aren't that bad. They've healed. I can move around. I don't have feeling in my hands, and I don't have feeling in my shoulder, but it's good. So I hate when people stare at my scar because you could just ask me. I'll tell you. I promise I'll tell you. But that's pretty much the gist of the story. It goes deeper, but that was pretty much everything that happens. My eyes immediately dart back up to his, but then he laughs. I'm pulling your leg. I'm trying to get my phone. I can hear it. I'm trying to stop it from being as loud. So sorry. While I'm doing that, you guys can subscribe. You know, do all that ooey gooey stuff that makes me happy and join the family. I'm pulling your leg. It's not like I'm hiding it from anyone. The scar, I mean. I'd hide it. No, I'm not hiding my scars. I wear my scars loud and proud. Absolutely not. Can I ask what exactly happened in the fight? How about you tell me what you know first so I can fill in the blanks? You tell Jeremy what you know. The fact that the fight happened somewhere behind the school. He was cornered and someone brought a knife. No one knows exactly why the fight began. All the people knew was that it ended with Jeremy getting nicked in the throat. I was going to say kicked out of school, but after I double glanced, it's nicked. Is that all you know? Hush phone. No one knows why it started? No, just speculations. Jeremy chuckled again. I guess it doesn't matter why it started. It was an embarrassing reason to start a fight, and definitely did merit a knife to my throat. Poor thing. It doesn't seem he'll be revealing anything else about the fight's reasoning for starting. I had to burp and I didn't want to burp in you guys' ear. You notice his hand slipped into his pocket and he fiddles with something inside as he speaks. I can't lie to you. I say I wasn't scared, absolutely shitless though. Plus, it was after school and practically everyone was gone. No one could hear me yelling for help. I did learn I could throw a mean punch that day though. Knocked one of the guys out down to the ground. Okay, Jeremy, throw them hands. Don't let nobody pick on you. I'm the one that's like, I preach peace and love. But I'm never going to let somebody put their hands on me. You put your hands on me, you better hope I don't black out. Like, that's what you better hope, is that I don't black out and hurt you. It was an entire group against him, an unfair fight, especially when, when said group brings a knife to it. Are you all right? Me? Sure, yeah, I'm all right. Thanks for asking. I, didn't tell you this to vent anything. I just wanted to let you know the full story, you know? But really, thank you for asking. It means a lot. With that, you turn back to the shelves once more, continuing to shop as you feel the conversation is nearing its end. You scan the aisle for a moment, and Jeremy does the same. So, would it be rude if I asked what you do for work? Just an office job. Exactly what you're picturing in your head. Do you like your job then? Is it a bit enjoyable at the very least? It pays the bills. That's the important bit, huh? Suddenly, your elbow knocked over a box and it falls to the floor. Let me get that for you. He bends down and grabs the box when something else clatters to the floor out of Jeremy's pocket. Oh, he has a knife. A switchblade at that. A switchblade lies in front of you. Something that you are 110% sure he is not allowed to have on him. Well, if he's stalking at a, what you call it? If he's stalking at a grocery store, wouldn't it be less fair to be like, oh, he's not supposed to have that. If he's opening boxes and stuff, a lot of people have blades on them. I know there's box cutters, but some people just have natural blades on them just to open the boxes because it's a little easier just to snap out a Swiss blade, open it, and then close it back. I've worked at a grocery store. I've seen people do it all the time, especially the older generation. They typically do it a lot. A Swiss blade lies in front of you. Something that you are, 100% he's not allowed to have on him, yeah. Jeremy immediately picks it up and shoves it back into his pocket. The fact that he immediately went to hide it makes him seem even more guilty. That was, I'm allowed to have it, I swear. I'm not allowed to have it. So let's keep it between us, between you and I, alright? Well, why do you have it? Because I know there's other endings. Me personally, I mind my business. I'm like, cool. You work at a grocery store. You open boxes. I expect that's what it's for. And I would leave it at that. I'm the type of person that mind my business. The business that pays me, I mind it. So I wouldn't even say anything. I'd just be like, okay. Or I'd act, if I was curious, I'd be like, are you sure you need that? Like, type of thing. But other than that, I probably would just leave it be. But for the content, I'm gonna be like, I need to tell someone about this. That's a danger. No, you can't. I need this job and I need the knife. I would never use it on anyone, I swear. You know me. I wouldn't even dream of it. Then why do you need it? Why did you hide it so quickly? I would never use it on anyone. Oh, this makes me feel bad because I usually mind my business. I would have been like, fine, whatever, and just left. Just do me a favor and let this go. You're being childish. You're not allowed to carry something like that. I can't let this go. I would never use it on anyone. Just leave it alone. Jeremy looks off into the corner of his eyes for a moment, looking for someone who might be entering the aisles. Take it. Oh yeah, this is way out of my character. I would never do this. As you take a step closer, you reach out towards him. His eyes snap back towards you. Suddenly, he throws his fist seemingly out of instinct, uppercutting your chin. See, this is why you mind the business. Say it with me. That pays you. Amen. That is Voyia's book of peace and love. Mind the business that pays you. You feel dizzy, and soon your mind fades into nothingness. And suddenly, you open your eyes, unable to see anything in the pitch black darkness. Confused and alert, you try to make sense of your surroundings. You are lying down somewhere. The walls are tight. Did he bury me? This man put me in a pine box and buried me. Jesus. The walls are tight around you, and the ceiling is practically touching your nose. Wait, is that a car? You desperately pound on your fist on the ceiling. Oh, no, it's her pounding on the ceiling. Okay. And then nothing. That's a car. You hear engines start. He didn't mean it. He swears he would never hurt anyone. You know him. Ending one. Well, ending one ended me in a trunk. I thought I was in a box, but a trunk. Let's go back in and see if we can find another ending. Okay, so we're back in here. We hugged him excitedly. This time, I'm gonna give him a nice fist bump. This causes Jeremy to laugh as he enthusiastically fist bumps you back. A wave of nostalgia washes over you as you recall doing this countless times as a kid. I'm sad I can't remember the secret handshake we made. Do you remember it at all? You think about it for a moment before admitting defeat. No, I completely forgot it. That must have been years ago. No wonder. Alright, but you gotta remember how we always used to skip gym and hide out in the old janitor closet, right? Your eyes widen at the memory. How could you have forgotten? You laugh, recalling the many times you were scolded together by the teacher when you got caught hiding in there. I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely loved PE. I did. I loved doing all the cool, fun things, but I absolutely did not like my PE teacher. So, I mean, I would skip it too. Where was that? Your eyes widen at the memory. How could you have forgotten? Oh, yeah. Okay, we already read that. Sorry. Let's keep going. Remember the time Mr. Bernack walked by and saw us in there for the 5th time and just gave up? Wrong person. Me. And he just gave up. Well, getting detention for hiding in a closet was way better than showing up for PE, wasn't it? Now that you think of it, Jeremy, I called him Jeremy. Jeremy always tried to convince you to skip that Pacific class with him. You knew it was because he wasn't very athletic to begin with, but you sort of noticed that the kids in the class were extra rough on him. Specifically, the 4 boys who were always together. You knew them too well. They were part of the fight that got Jeremy expelled after all. Those guys in our class never let you catch a break, huh? You notice him fiddling with something in his pocket? Never. Sometimes I feel like their life's duty was absolutely to ruin my day. You know what? I felt the same way. Why am I Jeremy? I'm girl Jeremy. I feel bad. I'm girl Jeremy. The atmosphere turns a little uncomfortable, neither of you knowing what to say. Jeremy suddenly ends the silence by chuckling, his grin coming back to his face as usual and pulling his hand out of his pocket, seeming to let go of whatever he was holding. Well, what are you going to do about it? It's long past me anyways. Plus, I never had the misfortune of meeting those beasters again after I moved. Seems like the perfect time to change the subject. Talking about moving, when did you get back? I definitely wasn't expecting to bump into you today, or, well, ever actually. Jeremy looks a little awkward, fiddling with his apron as we speak. Well, family drama as usual. Okay, so I think we already read all of this before, so I'm going to keep going to something that we haven't seen. Okay, so here we are. We're here at this area, and yeah, let's hit I think we asked him, do you want company? We'll just say he's doing his job right now. You feel like an attention seeker thinking that he could actually be trying to watch you. He would be, why would he? Jeez, I can't say he would be. I don't know what's wrong with me today. My brain is just elsewhere right now. Why would he be doing that? He works here. A minute passes in complete silence. You're at a loss at what to do, excuse me. He hasn't moved an inch since he stepped into this aisle, and neither have you. You reluctantly look back at him, hoping that he does, well, anything. Any sign of life coming out of him would be greatly appreciated. Jeremy notices you looking at him oddly and immediately scrambles to the shelves in front of him, randomly picking up a can and placing them in different places. You feel like you need to say something, but you don't know what. You continue to watch as Jeremy tried to look busy. Jeremy suddenly stops. Putting a can with his hand, he had in his hand back onto the shelves, turning to you and acting surprised. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I was so busy reorganizing the shelves that I couldn't, the shelves that I completely tuned you out. What are you doing here? Just shopping. I'm only laughing because this is so awkward that I feel like this is something I would do. It's obvious that he has a crush on her, but considering that he just threw me in his trunk, I think I'm just gonna pass. You decide to leave him be, turning away from him, starting to walk to the next aisle. But Jeremy suddenly interrupts you mid-stride, clearing his throat, and you turn to look at him as he holds his can of corn in the air, inspecting it and talking to himself. Oh man, I just love this type of corn. I can vouch for it. It's my go-to corn company. Corn. You could make something with a can of corn, right? It's good, apparently, says the grocery worker in front of you. You walk back towards him, picking up the same type of can. If you say it's good, I might as well try some, right? Yeah. Let me know if you like it. You turn back to Jeremy for a moment and ask him for directions to a certain aisle. Excuse me, I had to burp. A certain aisle when your eyes locked onto something you don't remember him having. Okay, we already read this part. Let's keep going. Oh, this is gonna make me feel so bad. But I'm gonna tell him I'd hide it. Jeremy looks taken aback for a moment before chuckling quietly. It isn't something I'm particularly ashamed of, so I don't see the need to, you know. I cannot read today. I'm so sorry, y'all. You do know why I got it, right? I'm surprised you of all people would tell me something like that. You recall the rumors of what happened the day in high school when the fight happened. If anything, it sounds like he was attacked and he tried his best to fight back, which led to the scar. Interesting. I feel like it's a little bit more than that, though. You were attacked. What does it have to do with me? Oh, never mind then. I guess I assumed you knew. Word travels fast at that school, excuse me. Alongside follows his words. You generally cannot remember a single thing about the fight besides the basics. He was attacked, someone brought a knife, he got a blade in his neck. Well, this is embarrassing. Guess I could tell you if you're curious. But before he could answer, he was interrupted you with a nervous chuckle, excuse me. Or not, if it isn't a big deal. High school drama's long gone, and I guess I could cover it up. The scar, I mean. Oh, that makes me feel bad. Ugh. I promise you, I would never tell somebody. Sorry, my phone was ringing. I would never tell somebody to cover up their scar at all. If you have a scar, you have a scar. Another daunting silence commences, and you take it as your cue to turn your attention back to shopping. You scan the aisles for a moment, and Jeremy does the same. So we already read this. He asked us about work. Let's keep going for it. So this is back where the knife was. We told on him. Instead, we're gonna say, why do you need it? I guess I'm a bit paranoid. This job was hard enough to get. If anyone finds out I'm carrying this, I'll be fired. I've gotten enough warnings, and this will be the tipping point. And it makes me feel better having it on me just in case. Do you feel unsafe, Jeremy? I guess I do feel a bit uneasy sometimes. Yeah, living back in the town where somebody attacked you, you don't know if the person still lives there in that town. I could get it. And it's not like it's a gun. Just let this go. Please don't tell you'll please tell me you'll let this go. But I can't read today. You consider it for a moment. I won't say anything. Jeremy lets out a breath of relief, taking his hands out of his pocket and clasping it with his other. God, thank you, Voyia. I mean it. I really, really, really do. I'm sorry if I freaked you out a bit there. Suddenly, a woman speeds down the aisle straight towards Jeremy. You, help me find something before this damn store closes. Sure thing, ma'am. Before either of you can speak, the woman storms off and Jeremy follows reluctantly. As you watch them leave, you realize the store really is about to close. You pay for your things at the cash register and leave, Jeremy completely out of your mind. ... You hear something running. I didn't even hear it. I can't hear it. Oh, I can hear it now. You hear something running close behind you. But when you turn around, whoever it was is gone. That would have made me so paranoid. I would have been walking backwards the whole time. You turn back around and keep walking back to your apartment. You get to the door. You unpack everything you bought and putting things in your respective spots. Your arms are sore from walking with all the bags. Seriously, I would be so paranoid right now. I'm still creeped out by it. With all the bags you brought. Quickly, you make yourself a meal to eat it hungrily. And eat it hungrily. I can't read today. I'm so sorry, you guys. You put away your dishes before you get ready for bed. Finally, you tiredly collapse into your bed, phone in your hand. You stare up at the ceiling, allowing yourself to finally unwind after a stressful day. Suddenly, your phone chimes up. You read the spam message notification before blocking the contact. You put your phone down. Spam message. Better get some rest before work tomorrow. All right. That's number 2. Let's keep going. So now we're going to offer him a nice little handshake. He holds out his arms for a few seconds longer before you raise your own for a handshake. He stares at your hand looking confused before shaking it. Long time no see, huh? It has been a long time. So long that you're not quite sure what to say anymore, let alone hug him. A handshake feels much more appropriate. Jeremy clears his throat before smiling again, hoping to clear some of that awkward atmosphere. Well, no need to act like a stranger. We're friends, aren't we? Friends, maybe, but it's been a long time since we last even seen Jeremy that it feels almost hard to tell. Of course, you still have some fondness of him since you two were best friends, but that was a long time ago. It feels weird trying to force that closeness you both used to have onto each other now. You find yourself smiling at the politeness of the comment, not having much to say. There's a long silence. So, what brings you here so late? Shopping. Sure, but so late at night? You must have nothing at home. Huh? Yeah, that's the situation. So my character's coming off now like a butthole. I don't like this. Another long silence. This time, Jeremy doesn't seem to be able to muster up some of the customer service voice he had the last awkward silence. So, I moved back here 2 weeks ago. There was an apartment looking for a roommate nearby, and so I took the opportunity. You nod. The conversation isn't really going anywhere, and you need to shop anyways. The conversation has gone quiet, and it feels like you queued to head to the next aisle. I think I'll be heading to the next aisle. I know you've got your work to do. It was nice talking to you, though. All right, so we read all this. Let's continue going. This feels so bad. I don't want to be mean to him. Can I help you? Huh? No? Can I help you? Jeremy chuckles awkwardly. He's trying so hard to just be like, I'm just here. Creeping you out a bit. Was he always like this, off-putting? Maybe that was a little harsh. Nope. I'm doing fine on my own. Thanks for asking. Alright, let me know if you need something. Anything at all. I'll be nearby. He meant that literally, as he didn't leave the aisles. At least he was leaving a reasonable distance between you two, the two of you, instead of breathing down your neck. You turned back to Jeremy for a moment, asking him for directions to a certain aisle when eyes locked to something you remember him having. You didn't remember him having, excuse me. So we read all this. Let's continue going. Okay. So this should be the same. I'm going to say they had it coming instead of are you alright? Absolutely. With that, you turn back to the shelves once more, continuing to shop as you feel the conversation is nearing its end. You scan the aisles for a moment, and Jeremy does the same. Okay, so I think we already read this one. I don't think telling on him is going to make a difference since we've been cold. We're going to end up in his in his trunk. So I'm just gonna ask him why does he need it for, and then I'm gonna skip it, and then I'm gonna say whatever. I don't care. Oh, you're being childish or immature. Huh. I think we already... No, we didn't say that. Yeah. You shouldn't be carrying a Swiss blade of all things around with you for no good reason. Even if you might disagree with me, please just don't tell anyone about this. I can't read today. You consider it for a moment. Fine, I won't say anything. Thank you, Voyia. Suddenly a woman speaks. Okay, so we read this already. Let's continue till something else happens. Okay, so I had to look this up for ending number 3 because we've gotten 2 endings so far, and I got the same ending twice. So I had to look up how to get ending 3. This is apparently how you get ending 3. I had to like scroll through comments and skip past stuff so that looked like spoilers and stuff. It was hard. Okay, so we don't care. That's exactly what I mean. All right, thank you. Woman comes running at him, tells him to help. I'm gonna keep going. So this is supposed to lead into ending 3 as far as I know. Once we leave the store, hopefully. Yeah. You hear footsteps behind you. You turn around, they're gone. You turn back around and keep walking to your apartment. Hopefully this all changes. Like, yeah. You get to the door. You unpack all your groceries. You quickly make yourself a meal and you eat it fast or hungrily. You're tired and collapse into the bed. Everything so far is the same. Suddenly, it seems like what's changing is the phone thing. So suddenly your phone chimes up. You read the notifications and you learn that you've got a new follower. Upon future inspection, you see that the new follower is an account created today with the name Simon. The account doesn't have any followers and follows one person, you. You find that a bit weird considering that you only upload occasional pictures of you with your friends and family, but you shrug it off and turn off your phone. Days go by and you completely forgot about it. So this is ending 3. The last ending, we're going to go get ending 4 now. Ghost follower. Okay. We're back at the apartment. We get into our apartment, unpack our stuff. Come on, we're gonna keep going. We finally collapse. Our phone chimes. Upon further inspection, you notice that the notification is actually a new follower, something that struck you as odd. Your account consists of pictures of you with your family and your friends, and the new follower had a name you didn't recognize as someone you knew. You click on the profile, but the name Simon is the only thing that's displayed on it. The account was made today. You don't seem to be following anyone besides you, nor were they followed by anyone. The profile picture was still the default image, and you really couldn't tell who it was. You decide not to worry about it, and you put your phone down. But suddenly, your phone chimes up again. Let's ignore it. You ignore the notification, but suddenly your phone chimes up again. Okay, all right, we get it. You pick up your phone again to see more notifications from Simon's account. Excuse me. From the Simon account you was before. That was just a little weird. I think that was a misspell. You see the account eagerly interacting with yours, liking all your recent posts as well as adding positive comments underneath them. Sorry, I had to answer a phone call, but suddenly you get a direct message from Simon. Okay. Simon seems eager to speak with you, expresses his excitement about a band that you had a shirt of in one of the pictures you saw on the page. Interesting. Personally, I don't like this. I don't like people messaging me out of the blue. I'd be asking you, I'm sorry, like, no disrespect, but do I know you? Like, kind of thing. Where was I at? I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. Here, we already read that. You talk to a few, but you two talk for a few minutes. It's nice. But finally, you put your phone down and get some rest. The next few weeks go by as usual. Same office job, same schedule, same subway ride home. The only difference now is that you seem to have made a friend with Simon. The two of you talked frequently, and you begin to find yourself awaiting his replies eagerly at the time. Embarrassed? Maybe, but it did make your days less dull. I think Simon might be Jeremy, and he didn't know how to talk to us, so he's talking to us like this. Then one day you get home and you notice the window's wide open. At first, you thought nothing of it until you remember your apartment was on the first floor, meaning anyone could have gotten into it if they wanted to. You look around briefly, but everything looks as it should be. Nothing of value is missed either. But then you notice the paper sitting on the kitchen counter. Oh God, that you are sure you didn't leave there. I guess read it. Hello, thought I'd stop in and say hi, but you weren't here, Simon. You hadn't told Simon about any of your personal information. You immediately informed the authorities and an investigation began, but there was no current leads. You were left in suspense for the unseeable future as to how this could have happened. I'm so terrified. Please don't let this man be in the house already. After investigation began, things settled down. Simon's account was practically wiped out of existence to you and the authorities' dismay. For a while, it was okay. But then things in your apartment began to go missing, things from being misplaced. Sometimes your chores seem to do themselves, or maybe you're just forgetting that you did them. Sometimes you hear footsteps at night. Maybe you're hearing things. Those reassurance don't change the fact that you are paranoid. Then there's a note, and another, and another, and another. You frantically look around for any signs of Simon in your apartment. This is ending 4. This is the last ending. And he is nowhere to be found. The notes continued every week. A note is left mysteriously in your home, each more threatening than the other. I would have moved out. There's no way I could have stayed. How can you stay? Thinking about that. You make sure to lock up all the windows, but somehow Simon continues to enter. You request lock change, which is granted. A month passes without any other issues, and you slowly begin to live your life as you once did, unafraid to leave your home. Then, somehow, against all odds, a note appears on your fridge. Miss me. I would have moved. No way I could have stayed. I would have lived in the house for maybe like 2 more days. And then after that, it's done. No way I could live in there anymore. But thank you guys so much for vibing with me. I hope you guys had fun. I'm sorry for the long thing. I'm sorry for the mess ups, the mishap. Anyways, I'm not going to dwell on it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And yeah, go give this person who made this game some love and support. Thank you for making this game. It was a beautiful, creepy game. And I hope to play more from you. Have a fantastic day. Have a wonderful day. Peace and love.